I gotta get the paperwork in. So, it's extremely likely that I will be threatened, harassed, or bullied. And that is why I have a recording device. I need to get some paperwork to turn in some crimes that were committed against me.
Okay, you mean like file a police report?
Against the police, yes, sir.
Against the police. Trying to think where to send you. Hey, do you know where I would send someone who wants to file complaints against the police department? Circuit court? Okay. Yeah, at least there'll be a place for them to start. All right, thank you. Bye.
Circuit court is for civil, this is criminal.
Circuit court is not for civil, it's for criminal. Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, just go places, anything metal and electronic. I mean, it's for both, but it's really for criminal.
You good? I don't think I actually have anything.
All right, and then, yeah. All right, just click this See that first window just behind you on your right.
All right.
They closed 7 minutes ago. They'll be open again 1 after lunch.
All right.
I have their phone number so you can just call them.
Well, I really would like to meet with them in person and
That's
get
fine.
the paperwork.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've had a lot of officers that when I went to them to get the paperwork, they told me a lot of things that are not legal, not correct, against procedure. The thing is, I need the paperwork instead of having an officer say something to me like, well, you tell me what it is and I'll decide if it's illegal, because that's just intimidating. Coming in and getting the paperwork at 1 will certainly work for me. Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
Yep.
Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. I got a last name of Schwartz, and a lot of people get it wrong, so I try to make sure I get people's names right.
Well, thank you, sir.
I got the jitters just coming in here about this. I'm trying not to shake like a leaf. All right. Well, I guess I better step through and grab my stuff.
Yeah, you're good. Yep, you're good, sir.
No, I'm not taking guns or explosives out of a courthouse. I don't think that's a word I'm allowed to use here. No, it's bomb that you can't say at the airport. That's the one. Which is actually kind of good, you know. Then you don't get some little high school thug going through the airport going, man, she's the bomb, she's the bomb. No, we don't have to deal with that.
I see it now.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. There's got to be access to this building. One of the common tactics, these guys don't want to do their jobs for at-risk adults, is they start talking over you and selling a false narrative over the top of you, trying to give them an audio report. You are allowed to give an audio report, especially if you are disabled, especially if you have a communication disability such as Asperger's or post-traumatic stress disorder. My phone is having a little bit of issues. I do go downstairs. They don't open until 1 o'clock. Well, probably gonna have problems remembering the name T. Patterson. T. Patterson, and we'll say the time 12. Well, it would have been 12:07, wouldn't have, and it's 12:12 now. On Wednesday, May 10th, 2022, or sorry, 2023. All right. I remember events and faces, not dates and names. If I know them, then I can remember the name usually pretty well in a situation. There's a lot of details about these situations that I remembered that some of the people involved in it didn't remember until I'd said something. Well, that's the way life goes, isn't it? Sometimes you need a refresher, sometimes you need to go back and look. A lot of people said, well, you didn't tell me this and you didn't tell me that. You know what? I told you over and over again. I sent you videos with actual evidence in them. These people who claim to be my friends. But they procrastinated. That's not my fault. That's not my choice. And that is part of the reason we are such at-risk adults out here. Law enforcement does nothing to deter the abuse.
Orale! I'm not sure if I should be talking to you. You look like an albino.
I do? Dude, I am a fucking albino, bro.
Okay, well, I
Am
wasn't.
looking pretty albino right now?
You are.
Am I? Fuck, I'm all pale from fucking. Hey, bro, I've been out for like 5 days.
I know.
I
And the
actually got
service
an
is here
hour
and
of sleep
helpful.
like this morning in some random porta potty. I sat down. All of a sudden, I wake up. I'm like, fuck. Hey, do you mind if I eat you up for a while? Thank you, bro.
Oh,
How you
yeah.
doing?
Rough. I had to try to go in and turn in the cops here.
Oh, yeah, pretty pale.
But I went in there. I was 7 minutes late. They're on lunch right now, so I got to wait till 1 o'clock to turn them in. I got to get. I got to get the paperwork, and then I got to fill it out, and then I got to find somebody with testicular fortitude to go in with me when I turn it in.
Some what? I'll go.
Testicular fortitude. Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm ready to find me, yeah. When is this?
Well, I got to get the paperwork at 1 o'clock, and then once I have the paper, it's 12:14, I think.
Oh, okay. I'll be back this way. And then I seen you last night in the morning. Way the fuck down there.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, well, hey, I'll tell you what. I'll roll back to you here in 45.
Sounds good to me. Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. Appreciate these.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got to.
Oh, you're good.
Hey, stay up. I'll be back.
There's a lot of stuff that I say I understand why. Like, there's a lot of people here who are drug addicts. A lot of people nationwide who are drug addicts. A lot of people who are homeless end up with illnesses, diseases, infections from doing drugs. There's also a lot of people that do go to the hospital trying to get opiates once the hospital's got them addicted. A lot of people who are out on the streets because of their injuries. It's a very scary situation for a lot of people. So when I say I understand why the hospitals treat everybody who's homeless like a junkie, I do understand. It's still illegal. It is still illegal. Whether I understand why they do it or not, it's still illegal. It's still immoral. It is still against the law. For Tillamook Adventist Health, this is a religious hospital. A lot of the people that I have to try to depend on are those exact drug addicts. I'm told to go to services in the places where these drug addicts roam. The places where they've taken up permanent residence because there's no place for them. Not only are they eating up resources that could be going to people that are actually trying, but those places could be made safe from those people so that those of us who are actually trying aren't victimized over and over again by those people and then treated by police and the public as if we're those people. The cops in this town have elected to assist my predators on every occasion in getting away with their crimes. As a disabled person, I have taken the courses on self-advocacy.
I've gone through and listened to the videos. I've read the paperwork. I've downloaded the PDFs. Y'all got no idea. But I can't remember the exact number and all that of a certain legal or penal code. Obviously, there's a lot of times where I'm talking about a situation with one person named Missy and another. Sometimes there's people that have real names and street names. Sometimes I use one, sometimes I use the other. That makes it complicated. Like Monkey. I know him as Monkey, so it's hard not to call him Monkey instead of Michael Pennington. It's rough going in with somebody who's a drug addict. But it's also rough having to go in by yourself. As far as the people in this town on the street who've been victimized repeatedly by Robert Farnsworth, this is a regular occurrence for them, like no big deal. Forcing somebody into a situation like that is fucking horrible. You guys get to see how Robert Farnsworth is quote-unquote mentally ill. When people beat him up, it's not his fault that he's disabled. People can tell he's disabled just from talking to him, just from listening to him. When they beat him up, they're victimizing an at-risk adult. The police have repeatedly failed Robert Franklin Warnick. Sorry, not Robert Franklin Warnick. See, when I say there's a lot of people with the same name, Robert Farnsworth is what I meant. Robert Franklin Warnick was the registered pedophile who repeatedly threatened my life. You know, they didn't have to have any evidence whatsoever. It was just his word versus mine. I had evidence and he didn't. And the police in Chapel, sorry, there are no police in Chapel, Nebraska, too small. I had to flee abuse by law enforcement, and they're trying to force me to flee abuse by law enforcement here. That abuse includes neglect. The physical strain and financial strain that I am enduring are very specifically because peoples who work for the United States government and are paid purely with your tax dollars do not believe that they have to do their job for poor people. The more poor you are, the less you matter. The more felonies they can commit because they know you don't have the resources to combat their assaults. The local police department, working in conjunction with agencies like TFCC, TCCHC, and others, to commit Medicare fraud is not acceptable. Not just there, but also at the Tillamook Adventist Health. Other mandated reporters, such as the clergy, have also done the same thing, neglected their duties. And it has resulted in a lot of harm against me and a lot of harm against others. They'll let those people out over and over and over again, refuse to even investigate. But if I do it back magically, it's illegal. This needs to stop. Forcing me to go public about the abuse gives my predators forewarning. Same as forcing me to turn in my predators, literally to my predators. That is felonious. None of these agencies have the right to give you that legal advice. What they'll tell you is they can't help you fill out the paperwork and they can't give you legal advice. But then they lie to you and give you legal advice like it'll take an act of God. Or you need to spend exorbitant amount of money that you don't fucking have, and they know that you don't have it. That's why they preyed on you. Nobody gives a shit, not unless you have money. The thing is, although they believe all of this is okay because I am homeless, the fact is, I am homeless because of people like them preying on my disabilities. I get that I'm not victimized 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, physically. However, my physical well-being is directly a result of the situation that I am in. A situation brought about by slander and by laziness on the part of law enforcement. And of course, the agencies that, when they don't want to do their jobs and want to blow you off, they blow you off under rubber stamping. Paint you as mentally ill. Try to have you tagged as schizophrenic. Understand that when I am telling you about the issues that I'm going through and how they affect me, you need to listen to understand, not interrupt me 20 times. Because there's a lot of stuff to go through. And we're not going to get through it very far if you're going to keep on volunteering to do shit that you don't have the time to fucking do. You need to look at how much there is and realize you don't have the time to do it before volunteering to do shit you're not able to do. I'm already telling you before you get started, hey, I don't need you to volunteer to do a bunch of shit. I need you to verify what it is that I'm fucking saying. And how are you going to be able to do that if you don't listen to me or look? Oh, I'm at the deli mart. Woohoo! Holy shit, I'm gonna fucking pass out. Holy shit. When a disabled adult goes to the police about crimes being committed against them, they're blown off or sent to mental health. That's never okay. The things that I am scared of aren't just probabilities, they are inevitabilities out here. I went down to the police station to try, or down to the courthouse to try to turn in the police. So I got to talk to her after lunch. The thing is, Tillamook Family Counseling Center, TCCHC, and multiple other agencies, including Tillamook Hospital here, are defrauding the American taxpayers and also defrauding at-risk adults for Medicare and Medicaid money. We're sending them as mandated reporters, and they're sending us bills and sending bills to the taxpayers. Yes. With all the assaults and arrests that I've endured in this town, with the police treat me like the only way to do it.
Right, yeah.
I do want to blame you, just because you're not me, but the thing is, it's their fault, their choice. And as far as being mandated reporters go, they don't have a choice. Them pretending that they're optional reporters for at-risk adults is baloney, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then defrauding us for that much money, because, I mean, there's a lot of us out there all going through the same thing. Well, we're trying to turn in crimes committed against the police. They're sending us to mental health. Mental health, according to the Oregon law, we broke that law. Those people are supposed to coordinate with us and with the police to get this turned in. Instead, they have us go to therapy over and over and over and over again.
It's your problem. Like, no, I'm
They're supposed
reporting
to-
like an incident that somebody did towards me, not something that I have wrong with me.
Right.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't have PTSD, and that's why people are assaulting me. No, people assault me, that's why I have PTSD. So instead of you trying to
See, I
do a
understand it. I don't
diagnosis
know
thing-
what the hell their problem is.
Well, the thing is, they do understand it. They know that it's their job, and the fact that I recorded them committing those felonies is pretty important.
Yeah.
But I still have to go in alone, because Matt is a disabled adult. They'll throw the mentally ill tag at me and give me mentally ill treatment. Alright, well, oh, there's somebody in line behind me. It is, but luckily for me, I have more testing to report to than anybody I know.
That's good.
Yeah, you don't get to kill my friends and then think that I'm not gonna speak up. And Natalie was the first friend of mine killed by law enforcement negligence towards homeless.
Yeah, yeah.
Be safe, Chief. Thank
Oh,
you
yeah,
for not
man.
sucking.
I do my best, bro. I'd say we're both doing good.
I play well. If you ever watch my YouTube channel, you would realize I am one of the most foul-mouthed, filthy, nasty SOBs.
I was born with a tougher mouth. I'm just trying to, I'm at work, so I got.
Yes, sir.
Take care, man.
I don't have the resources to take care of myself, and I'm eating up my resources doing the cops' jobs for them. So, what did the situation with Jared show? He's the only person to actually, honestly, make an effort at turning something in with me. And that just makes him a badass in my book. With all the cowards in the world, I try not to call upon him unless absolutely necessary. Because most of the time he's not able to due to his own physical disabilities, due to his own poverty, due to his own mental sanity. Because, man, it ain't easy right now, is it? For any of you. A lot of you are just now starting to feel what it's like to be treated like a homeless person, where the cops blow you off and don't care what people do to you. But you see how much you would stink, how immediately they'll show up and do something if some Karen wants to pretend that I did something wrong because somebody committed crimes against me. Like dumping all my shit off over there at Fred Meyer's, or that lady misleading the situation. It's cost me a lot. If she'd have stopped to understand the expenses instead of offering to pay for every damn thing and not paying for every damn thing. See, that's the thing, is that if we'd have done it my way, it would have cost a lot less money. But I needed someone to do it with me. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. bright side, I've got officers, former police officers, speaking about the experience of what happens if you turn in police officers. People like Sarah Bacon went from being a cop to being an alcoholic. She's also got a lot of kids. If police officers had done something about the crimes that were committed against me when they happened, instead of blowing me off, things would be different. I went to my friends and family for help like I'm supposed to, because without friends or family, you're gonna get blown off. It's assumed that your friends and family know what the fuck is going on. None of my friends or family care what's going on. Even if I tell them, they make suggestions that show that they're not fucking listening. That they're not looking at evidence. There's a lot of people that literally for years told me that they couldn't do something and couldn't do something, couldn't do something. Something that I was telling them is the legal route. This is what I have to do. This is the legal route. This is why I am coming to you. Because I am attempting the legal route over and over again and people are just arguing with me. Caitlin Tatum did that. After years of arguing with me, she wanted to tell me that we needed to do something that I'd already explained we needed to do. And she had argued with me. I know, I've been telling you this for fucking years. And you've been arguing with me. And then you just now looked it up? After 6 years, you cared enough to look up one thing after 6 years, and only because I told you off. Caitlin Tatum is another mandated reporter. It's not that I'm not following the law. It's that not a single mandated reporter is doing theirs. There's murders all over the country I know about. And you get to hear in these conversations how I tell them, but they blow me off. Murders! And they're blowing me off. They tell me to do their job. It is, by law, their job. They have the resources to do it. They're not utilizing those resources, and they're making at-risk and disabled adults do their jobs, only to be treated like they're committing a crime for doing the cops' jobs because the cops are supposed to do it. Well, the cops are making us do it. They know it's felonious for them to force us to do their jobs. They're supposed to work together with mental health, with adult protective services for the safety of the victim. not deprive the victim of time and resources by making them run through a whole gauntlet of red tape for absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, most of that red tape doesn't actually exist. These are just excuses. Because these professionals want to sit on their ass and get paid for it. These officers doing so many favors for their coworkers is abhorrent. Jared, he is the only person to help me to turn it in right away. Every single other person I know failed me. When I went to Aaron Stegeman, if he'd have been a real friend, he'd have helped me to turn it in right away. But he told me he'd do it later. Then he changed his mind later. The thing with Brent Jeffson is that Brent Jeffson is a former Nebraska State Patrolman, is a former Dual County deputy, and is a former Cheyenne County deputy. He knew his job as a mandated reporter, and he is recorded turning down the job. He doesn't have the right to do that. None of them do. No one in the state of Nebraska, after being told about abuse against an at-risk adult or child, is allowed to look the other way. None. Here, there's very specialized people that I'm supposed to go to. And I went to those people in Nebraska. I went to those people in Oregon. I went to those people in Washington State. And all of those situations, I was brushed off because it was just me. The only times they pretended that they might do something is when there's somebody else there. Those two youngins in the Jeep Cherokee Sport, the red one with the Washington State plates. When that officer watched that video, I was telling him I got his plates, I got his name recorded and everything, and he was wanting to do the talking thing. Jared intervened enough to get me heard just a little bit more, enough to get him to actually watch part of the video and listen to part of the video. He said, "Oh, you got the license plate number." Yeah, I said I did. I said I did. I said I had the evidence and I had it. I went to a friend or family member right away to turn it in right away. I did that multiple occasions by myself because my friends and family members didn't do shit. They promised they would do it later, but never did. Promised if I wasted my time and wasted my money on doing what they wanted, that they would help me. And then once my money was gone, they were gone. That does constitute felonies in these situations. The fact that these people were aware of what was going on, and that the evidence does show bias, show sexism, show racism. It shows long-term abuse because of slander by law enforcement. Slander by my predators. The predators I'm trying to turn in, I'm forced to go to try to turn them in, and then they play victim. Hey, I was forced to go to you. I didn't want to go to you. I explained to law enforcement that I was trying to turn you in. The fact that they repeatedly sent me to places that I was trying to turn in, knowing I was trying to turn them in, such as Of course, the hospital trying to send me to TFCC. Danelle Boggs, after talking shit about working for TFCC. What did she do? Tried to send me to TFCC, knowing that I was trying to turn in TFCC. Instead of doing her job as a mandated reporter, she wanted to administer legal advice. Nearly all of the people who told me that they couldn't administer legal advice lied to me about the law to administer legal advice. When Danelle Boggs was digging for excuses why she didn't have to do her job as a mandated reporter, I looked it up. She lied. Lovely. She, like many others, is aware of how corrupt the system is. It's not the system that's corrupt. It's all of the lazy people in it. When they prolong someone's homelessness and prolong the abuse of that homelessness, that costs us a lot of money in the long run. It is less expensive to house somebody who has been forced into homelessness. It is less expensive to house them for 6 years than it is to lock them up for 1. And that's not counting all of the county and city and court employees that are involved in the situation that get paid. We are fined for being falsely accused and have our resources taken from us because of false accusations by law enforcement, by TFCC, by people like Danelle Boggs. And Esther, what is it? Esther Brend? Let me see. I've got it here somewhere. I've got the recordings where I went into TFCC and explained to the people there that, Esther Bradeen. Then there's Dove Rainbow. People were trying to tell me that they were Dove Rainbow right here on my channel. I got screenshots of it. Being called by someone claiming to be this person. We have the recording from TCCHC where I did report that incident. People have been pretending to be mental health care professionals or police officers through all of this. And I'm forced into a situation because the actual mental health professionals won't do their jobs, won't take it seriously. That I have to do their jobs, I have to do the police's jobs. Without the resources to even take care of myself, I have to apportion my resources to whatever it takes to do what they're asking me to do, because if I don't, they get to pretend I didn't try. And because I have to do it alone and they won't look at any of the evidence, they pretend I didn't try anyway. All of these professionals know the legal route. They're not allowed to have their jobs unless they take those mandated reporter training courses. They have to have a supervisor sign off that they've taken that course. That includes the clergy. The gas that they gave me to run around to all the services that didn't do anything except send me to other services just resulted in me having no gas again after running to all these services. I wouldn't have needed the gas, especially not multiple times, if these people had not blown me off as far as mandated reporters go. When they want to pretend that it's just for children, what does that tell us? That tells us that they looked it up on Google instead of looking up the actual laws. Because according to Google, it's just for children when you first type it up. But when you start typing in the important questions that you want to know, It turns out that it's not just for children, it's also for at-risk adults. It's for those called mentally ill, people like Farnsworth. His mental problems are not his choice. And for people to choose violence against him because he's got those mental issues is not okay. God darn it. Fucking seatbelt's broken again. This time it's broken in a different place. I'm gonna try to use my cane as a hammer. See if I can smack it into functioning. Nope, not gonna work. Just try to beat the hell out of it. That hurts like son of a bitch. Oh God, it worked. Should wash my hands before I stick my fingers in my eyes. This didn't just cost Medicare and Medicaid your tax dollars, and a lot of them. This also cost me the time and money and resources that it took to run around to all these places. I don't have the money for me to take care of myself. I don't have the ability to take care of myself because of how complicated this situation is and how many crimes have been committed against me. And I'm forced to go to law enforcement officers who have committed crimes against me to turn in the crimes that are committed against me. This is not okay. You need to have support before the police commit crimes against you. If you don't have that, you're screwed. It's not that I didn't try, it's that nobody cared. Fucking driver. The United States We literally kill people for making mistakes. And that's horrible. We destroy their entire lives because they were broke for a portion of time. If you're victimized here in the United States and forced into homelessness, the fact that you are forced into homelessness can and will be used to victimize you further. If you're victimized financially into homelessness, police will victimize you financially for being homeless. Alright. Fuck. Alright, I'm gonna fucking cry like a little bitch. And fucking goddamn jalapenos. Fuck! Oh my god. Ah! That was a curb. Alright, I'm gonna stop and use the bathroom and wash my fucking hands. Holy shit, that fucking burns like a motherfucker. I guess, just take this opportunity to end the video.